Kris, what's up, man?
What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm great, dude. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
Happy to hear that, man. You're from Milford, right?
Yes, sir.
You better be a Pats and C's fan, right?
Of course. Of course.
All right, just had to make sure, because
Yeah.
as a masshole myself, so that's why this is like super cool for me. I'm in Milford like every day.
Oh, word, man. Word. I'm not, dude. I stay in Woonsocket now with my girl, so I'm
Okay,
not. I'm not over there as much as I used to be. But great town, great people, man. So,
I'm the town over from Woon.
oh, word, word, word. That was. I
You
used to
wrestled in
wrestle.
New England Gold.
Yes, sir. But it was
Oh,
called. It was Wadsworth when I was there, and then they changed a few years after I got out of high school.
oh, that's
Yeah, word.
wow, a small world, dude. Hey, maybe one time we can get a sparring session. You can kick my ass a little bit.
Oh, we can try it, bro. I don't know if I'll kick your ass, but we'll get some work.
You could teach me a thing. How about that?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, for sure. So, take us back to that, living in Milford, growing up there. How'd you first find your way into combat sports? Like, what was that environment like for you?
Growing up, I had a pretty normal childhood. You know what I mean? My mom and my stepdad, and then everything like that. And then I kind of didn't really play many sports. I wasn't really a super athletic kid. I played some like Pop Warner football and stuff like that. But other than that, I didn't really play stuff. And then when I got into high school, kind of was I had a buddy I was playing like freshman football, and he was like, "Yo, you should wrestle." And then I wrestled. Ended up loving it. Did that for 4 years. That was like my whole life. Did like off season, did everything else, and that became the only sport I did. And then when I got out of high school, it was kind of like the same thing. I was like kind of not doing much, working, not going to school, so I was like losing myself, and I kind of needed something that reminded me of wrestling. And then my coach, George Rivera, my first coach, opened up his gym. Finally, he opened up a gym right in my town, and I was like, I'll give it a try. Went in, got punched in the head, and that was kind of all she wrote. You know what I mean? I was with him for like 4 years, and then when he moved down to Florida, my other coaches opened up a gym. I was there for that was open for like 4 years, and then I just kind of bounced around until I got with Tyson.
Yeah, so, you were with the cartel, which is super cool. And, you've been competing since 2013. So, talk to me about that because you've built your career, really in this New England combat sports scene. So, as a native to Mass, what's it been like to compete in, this local scene, and how's it been for your development?
We have a great scene up here. Great promotions. With Cage Titans my whole amateur career, and then as I was a pro, I kind of stayed with CES for a long time, and I fought for them. And again, they give you they when you're doing the things you're doing, they give you tough fights that are gonna help you, that are gonna build you. And it got me to some great places, and I've gotten to go around the world, and I've gotten to do some cool things. And no, again, obviously not as well as I would have wanted to. My career didn't go exactly the way I wanted to go, but I've done some amazing things, and I've learned a lot of things, and I for the most part, I've proven myself against some of the best in the world. You know what I mean? And, I fought some really good guys in the local scene, and then I fought some really good guys in the UFC, and my my career kind of explains itself that way.
Yeah, no, you've always fought very high level opponents, and you've done it with the cartel for that the majority of that career. So talk to me about that because you're working with one of the legends in the sport with Tyson Chartier there. So just like how's that been for your environment, and what's that like day to day?
It's great. You know what I mean. I've been my whole career. I've been in some great gyms, and I've trained with all the guys in New England. Every big name that's ever come through here. Tyson's a great coach, man. He's really focused. He's a great coach, great manager, great person, and he really cares about you, and helps you when you need it. So yeah, again, if I didn't meet him, I wouldn't have made it as far as I did. You know what I mean? Even before he was my coach, he was just my manager, and he got my foot in the door when I needed to, and got me to the places I needed to go. And as a coach, he's a great coach. He really focuses on what we need to do in order to get through these fights. This camp was extremely tough for me. Like, you know what I mean? Once you lose a couple fights, it's kind of like, oh, am I just gonna keep losing? Can I still do it? Can I still do it? Now that I got a win again, hopefully I can parlay that into the next couple fights that I have, and get my foot back on the get me right on the right track again. You know what I mean? Get a few more wins, and then again, like I keep saying, I don't know where the future holds, but again, in my head, I have a few more, and let's go out there and do some cool things and get them done. You know.
Yeah, you've definitely done cool things, and you, like you said, you fought with cool fighters, the best, best of the best to come through New England. Guys that come to mind are, Rob Font, Calvin Cater, guys there now like Rich Raposo. With them and other guys, are there anyone in particular that you find yourself or found yourself, working with more than others?
Over the years, I worked with guys like Dennis Paiva, who was again one of the guys I say she probably should have made it to the UFC a long time ago when he was fighting. He was one of those guys that they really missed out on when he didn't get there. I worked with Andre Sukumtoth, who was in the UFC a lot. I worked with like Randy Costa and guys like that. So I've worked with all the guys that you can think of that have made it through here, and I've seen every shape and color of a person in the sport, and it's been a wonderful ride. You know what I mean? There's a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but I wouldn't have changed my life for anything, and I'm very blessed and honored to be able to do the things that I've done, and I'm so happy that I where I'm at right now, and again, it's just a ride. We got a way we got to ride. You know.
Yeah, and you're coming off that win in WoW FC. That was over in Portugal. And you were on record saying that that was a dream come true for you, bigger than even fighting in the UFC. So can you talk to me about like what that meant for you?
Yeah. Again, obviously, the biggest thing I've done in the sport is fighting the UFC. Obviously, I understand, but again, that was the first dream, was making to the UFC. That didn't go the way I wanted it to go, and again, I really, to be honest with you, didn't have a great experience in the UFC for what it is, and just my mental things and all this other things. So again, the other dream that I had coming up in the sport is like I wanted to fight in a big stadium in Boston, right? I still haven't got to do that yet. You know what I mean? I was really hoping, like, while I was in the UFC, they'd come to Boston and I could fight in front of my hometown, in front of everybody, and do that. Yeah, the big dream I had was to go over to Portugal and be where my father was from, and go in there and in front of the great people over there, the people that have shown me so much support and so much love. Even though I'm an American, they've given me everything, man. Every time I fight, the Portuguese crowd hits me up on Instagram and everything else, and sends me love. So I just wanted to go out there and put on a show. Well, it wasn't my best fight, but it was what it was. You know what I mean? I got the job done in front of all those guys in the great stadium that they have over there, and they showed me nothing but love. So yeah, I don't know if it was realistically bigger than it. Obviously, it's not bigger than the UFC, but it was something that I was really, really, really blessed and honored to be able to go do, and something that when I look back at it, I'll be able to have that memory and be able to tell my future kids and everything else. And I'll be truly happy with.
Yeah, and that's definitely a way to bounce back and get back into the win column. That fight with Christian Quinonez didn't go your way, but obviously you were able to learn and adapt, and you got that win in, basically your home crowd with your dad being from there in Portugal. So looking back at that fight and, your stint in the UFC, do you think you took anything away, as a fighter mentally and physically that you're now applying in your fighting day currently?
Yeah, I'm just trying to be more present. You know, be more present and not focus on the outcome as much. Like that was the big thing in the UFC. It's like you're fighting for so many different things. You're fighting for your job. You're fighting for these things. You're fighting in front of 20,000 people, 30,000 people. You know what I mean? It's terrifying. It really is, and it puts so much pressure on yourself. And like I can never just truly feel comfortable and go out there and just like kind of leave it all out there. I'm just like thinking about, oh, if I lose, I'm gonna get fired. Oh, if I lose, I'm gonna get this. Oh, I put on some of the worst fights. All like Sorry, it's my cat.
That's
I put on
awesome.
the worst fights of my life were in the UFC, which is like the place you want the best fights of your life to be. So it's just terrible. You know what I mean? It was a terrible experience. Like I couldn't get my mind right. I couldn't get myself to focus the way I wanted to and go out there and put on the performance that I want. Like the worst things. I first fight, I get my ass beat for 3 rounds and just get smoked. Second fight, I get finished in the first round. Third fight, I get knocked out cold. Like the first time I've ever been knocked out on my feet ever in my life. So yeah, it's in the last fight. I kind of just like gassed out and just fucking died out there in front of everybody. It is what it is. I understand. I don't really. I'm not gonna dwell on it and worry about it anymore in my life. You know what I mean? I'm on to different things, bigger things, better things in my life for me, obviously, and I'm just gonna focus on enjoying the fights I have left and try to get all end my career with a bang. You know what I mean? The best way it can possibly go.
Yeah, and it seems like you're on that trajectory, to be completely honest, because that's a major thing to take away from those losses, the fact that you have to beat yourself out there and not let those other things that aren't happening in the fight affect you. And I think that's a big part of why you got that win. So, with that, with the WoW FC, you have that fight under your belt. Do you see yourself continuing in that promotion, or are you just, taking it day by day?
I'm really just taking it day by day. I have a couple of things I wanna still do. I will, again, like BKFC and other things like that. There's things I want to try and go, but yeah, WoW was a great promotion. They were very professional. Everything was clean. Everything was good. They took very good care of me and my team, and it was great. So if they want me back, of course I would love to go fight. Um, try try Spain or somewhere else over there too, wherever they go, and get some more experiences out of it. But yeah, I'm taking it one day at a time and seeing what's next. Again, maybe BKFC they're coming to Boston in August, so we'll see how that goes and see what goes on. So I'm not worried about it yet.
You mentioned the date, so it sounds like this BKFC is something that's definitely on your mind. Have you talked with your managers about trying to get on that card? Is that something that you're training primarily striking?
Not training anything extra for it. We just again, my I talk to Tyson all the time, and we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? I'm just things that I have thoughts of, like again, when stuff like that, or maybe even September. You know what I mean? I would like to get a couple more this year if I can, and stack some checks. You know what I mean? Get some more wins, and yeah. So at least one or two more this year before December.
That's awesome to hear. Two more fights that I'll definitely be tuning in for. And so, with that last win, you got up to 15-8, and you've gone through CES, Cage Titans, Combat Zone, CFFC, and now recently WoW and the UFC as well. So, with all those promotions, all those experiences, which one stands out the most to you, looking back at it? And which one do you think that you grew the most from?
Yeah, realistically, it was in the span of like after I got cut from the first stint in the UFC, and in the middle, I learned so much and became a more well-rounded fighter. I thought I was going to be ready when I got back to the UFC and did all that stuff. But I learned, even with the bad performances that I had the two fights in the UFC, I learned so much in that little time frame of like who I am as a person, what I need to do, and staying focused. And I got 5 finishes against five tough guys, and it was just a clean growth. You know what I mean? Everything was good. I was doing the things I needed to do. I was in the gym when I needed to be in there, and we had a thing going with our team that was very good. You know what I mean? Now I'm just trying to enjoy fighting, enjoy training, and just kind of just have a more peaceful approach to the whole process coming in now. So I've learned a lot. I learned a lot in that little stint, and I've learned a lot since being let go from the UFC again. And again, it is what it is. Life is good. God has blessed me with so many things, and yeah, man, just ready to see what the future holds.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to see what it holds for you as well. It seems like you've learned a lot as, a student of the game. And with that, you have the experience as well. I think, whatever promotions they are next, I think you'll have a lot of success in.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, of course. And so, yeah, 33 years old, 15 wins, over a decade of experience. Where do you see yourself going from here? What does the future in your eyes look like after, one or two fights this year?
Yeah, I keep saying it to my team. I probably have 3 or 4 more in me, 3 or 4, maybe 5. You know what I mean? I do want to be done by the time I'm 36, regardless of what I'm doing. And I'm trying to do some other things. You know what I mean? I'm trying to become a cop. I'm trying to become or either something in corrections, whether it's either corrections officer, police officer, sheriff, or something like that. So I have things in the work where I'm trying to become some else to get a career. So yeah, man, I would like to be done fighting like 4 or 5 more fights, maybe. Like if I get on the police force or something like that, then I'll probably have to stop sooner. But we're just gonna take it one day at a time and see where I'm at in the next couple of years. You know what I mean? And then we'll go from there. You know what I mean? I'll do the big walk off in the sunset and be happy with myself. Hopefully before I've taken too much brain damage and yeah, man, you can't do this forever. I was trying to count out how many fights with Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, everything that I've done. I've had 35 fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
35 fights with my pro and amateur career with everything that I've done. And yeah, man, I've been doing, not to mention all the sparring, the everything else that we do all the time. So I've been doing this for almost 15 years now, and yeah, man, I'm on the tail end, but I'm gonna go out with a bang.
Well, I like to see where your head's at for sure. And you're super close knit with the New England community. You've been here for basically all your career, going through regional, amateur, and your professional career training in Haverhill with the cartel. So, was coaching ever an idea that came into your head following, fighting, or was something in corrections just the path that was right for you?
Yeah, I want to do that. Like the police officer, because I want a career. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I want to do something that I can help people and stuff. Coaching will be something I do, something regardless. You know what I mean? I'll always be a part of the sport, and I'll probably miss it later on, and then I'll be like, yeah, I gotta start. I wanna help people and see. I've been coaching for years now. You know what I mean? I've
Mm.
been teaching. I've been showing people. I corner a bunch of people for fights and all this stuff. So I've been doing this forever. You know what I mean? I would like to go do something else too, and try to make something else beside my life besides this too. And then again, when I miss it, I'll pick up coaching, and hopefully I can get a couple guys to the UFC and find my worth, but find my worth as a coach. But yeah, man, that'll probably be something I do down the line.
That'd be super cool to see. With being a police officer, is that are you thinking in a Woonsocket?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying a few places. I put my name in. I'm not even. I forgot. I've done the things that I need to do. Put my name in a few places, and hopefully I'll get picked up soon and get to go do that journey. But if not, I'll find something else in that kind of field, and I'll figure that out. But those are just my thoughts right now. And again, and then people are talking about maybe you should do apply for the firefight as a firefighter or something. And again, those are all things that are in my head. And like I said, I'll try to make all that stuff work and figure out what ends up fitting best, and just take it one day at a time.
Well, I'll be the first. I'll beat everyone to it. I'll give you a thank you for your service. Well in advance.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
That's all I had for questions today. I wanted to thank you again for your time. And, in the future, if you ever want to teach me a thing or two at New England Gold, or I would always love to take the drive to Haverhill, it would be an honor.
Of course, bro. Anytime you want to work, just hit me up and we'll figure something out. You know what I mean? I teach at a gym in Mendon, right next to Milford. So if you're around that area, you can always pop in. We can work something, bro.
Okay, yeah, for sure. That'd be awesome.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Thank you.
man.
Thank you for having me on tonight, and appreciate your time, bro.
Yeah, thank you, man. Have a great rest of your night. Take care.